should I go to church if I'm not born again? If this is a question you're asking, then this video is for you. Going to church has a lot of benefits, and this benefit is not just limited to people who are born again. Born again or not, as long as you're Christian, going to church, there's a way it builds you as a human, from a human perspective, living the natural way. Because sometimes we think going to church is only beneficial for the spiritual reasons. Yes, it nourishes us spiritually, born again or not, but there are so many benefits of going to church that are not linked to our spiritual life, but rather to our physical day-to-day life. Let's get into it. The first benefit of going to church, especially if you're not born again, although it applies to everyone, born again or not, the first benefit is, number one, you are being taught or exposure to good teachings and good principles on how to live life excellently. Most of the time when you go to church, most of the teachings and the preachings will not just be based on our spiritual life, maybe prayers, maybe spiritual warfare. No, you are taught, we are taught, as long as you're in church, you are born again, you are not, we are taught on how to live life. For example, we are taught on how to love each other and how love covers a multitude of sins. So if you are struggling maybe with human interactions, once you are exposed to the teachings of love and the genuine love, you realize that pole pole, you start having very effective relationship. You start extending grace to people. You start pardoning people for their mistake. You start understanding, okay, everybody has weaknesses, this and that. I should not be this and this way. Love in real sense looks like this. What is love itself? So these teachings on how to live in life, to live in love, we find them in church. We can also be taught on principles on businesses, you know. Yes, you might be shocked. Sometimes you go to church and you find teachings, maybe that week or that month, they are teaching on good principles of managing your business, if you are born again or not. So you will still benefit from that teaching. And then from there, you go and apply those principles to your business. You can also be taught on how to live life excellently, because the Bible does say, whatever you do, do it as if you're doing it unto God. So you find that if you are very sluggish, maybe in your business or in your place of work, once you are exposed to these teachings on how to live life excellently, you start you start being excellent. If it's in a place of work, you give 100%. If it is your business, you give 100%, because you know in whatever you do, you are doing it to God, and one day you will give an account. And this applies to everyone, whether you are born again or not. When you start doing things excellently, you will find the benefits. So if you're not born again, if you've not accepted Christ as your savior, don't just say, I'm not going to church. This church is for people who are born again, people who have a relationship with Jesus. No, go to church, because some of these teachings you'll find there will help you live life better. You'll gain principles and teachings and ways on how to live life better. You'll be taught on how to eat healthy. Yes, these things are taught in church. You are taught on how to eat healthy, how to live life well, how to avoid manendogondogo, to live well with your neighbors. All these things we are taught in church. So church, yes, we do pray. Yes, we do read the Bible. Yes, there is Bible study. Yes, there is teachings that are focused on building us spiritually, but there are also teachings that build us in our natural life, in our physical life, on how we interact with each other here on earth. Number two reason why you should go to church if you're not born again is number two. This is an interesting. For networking and human interactions. For networking and human interactions. When you go to church, normally there's a large, I'm smiling because I'm not saying you manipulate or use church, but I'm just saying church is normally a gathering of a large number of people, and out of these people, it creates an opportunity for you to network with somebody. You never know. If you're selling clothes, you go to church, you tell people, me, I normally sell clothes. The next time somebody wants to buy a cloth, whether for their child, for themselves, they'll tell you, you told me you sell clothes. Can I see them? Where are you? So you found a client. For example, myself, my tailor comes from my church. I was looking for a tailor for a very long time, and then one day we were talking with this lady, and then she tells me, I am a tailor, I do this, I do that. I was like, wow, amazing. Since that day until today, all my clothes, now, even if she is born again, but even if she's not born again, See, here I am a client. Cindy, yes. So networking in church, there's a large number. You meet different people. Even if it is a small church, you're only 50. These are 50 people. This is, you are networking with 50 people. Perhaps you have a problem. You don't know how to do something. You share with somebody, they'll tell you, me, when I had that problem, I did this. See, that human interaction, that networking has helped you solve a problem. So if you're not born again, go to church. You can network for human interaction. You will learn from people's mistakes. You will hear people testimonies. They will encourage you. You will hear somebody does this. You will tell people, I'm looking for a job, this and that, and then you never know, perhaps that is the way you're going to get a job. For example, there was a time I was looking for a job. It was from church. I was told, go here, go there, go here, go there. Sinilisaidia. Again, I'm not saying you use church, but I'm just saying, born again or not, if you go to church, you meet with other human beings, you network, you get to learn from others. It is better than just being at home, closing yourself off. And even if you're saying, me, I have a lot of friends, I don't need, well, hiya. But if you're out there and you're born again and you're wondering, why should I, if you're not born again and you're wondering, why should I go to church? Go, because in that place you will meet other human beings, you will learn from people's mistakes, you learn from people's successes, you will network, you'll get to learn a thing or two. And you know what they say, God uses people to bless people. Maybe your answer is there and you don't know, no umejifungia kwa nyumba. Go to church, my dear. Number 3, and the most important reason, save the best for the last. Number 3, why should you go to church? Because that is where you will learn about Jesus. Especially if you are not born again. That is, you should go to church, because there is where you learn about Jesus. As the pastor is preaching, as people are giving their testimony, I was once this way and then I prayed and God did this way. You learn, Somebody says their mistake. I used to think this is how you do this, but oh, I failed. I thank God. You will learn about Jesus in church from other people's testimonies, from the pulpit, as the man of God is teaching about prayer, as the man of God is teaching about these things. It gives you a platform to learn about Jesus even before you accept him. At least you're in that environment, you are in that situation where you're learning about Jesus. So if you're there and you're not born again, go to church, because the teachings about Jesus, they will open your heart. Some of these misconceptions that we have about Jesus and about God, when you go to church, they will start being demystified. When they talk about salvation and what salvation is, there you can even find somebody that you feel comfortable with and ask them these questions. Is salvation, kuokoka, what is it about? Moto kiokokanga, akuna ku have fun. And then as you're asking people these questions, they start telling you the answers. They start showing you what really is, what is not, what you believe which is wrong, what you believe which is right. So I want to encourage you, if you are not born again, yes, go to church. And I pray that God leads you to a good church. So before going to any church, please be careful. Go. There are so many good churches out there. So ask God. You can pray even if you're not born again. Yes, you can pray. Ask God to lead you to a good church. Go listen to their teachings. Be open-minded. And from there, you learn about Jesus. You will network and you learn good principles on how to live life effectively. So yes, if you're not born again, you should also go to church, or you should definitely go to church. Yes, that's it for today. Yeah, so if you're listening to this and you are born again, I would like to hear from you. Comment down below. Why should people who are not born again go to church? People who have not accepted Christ, why should they go to church? Comment down below. Thank you so much for listening. Let's see you next time. If you've liked this video, give it like it. That way it will be recommended to other Christians. Until next time, stay safe.